welcome back to my channel once again. And if today is your first encounter with my channel, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel. You are all welcome to my channel. Here we make English simple, easier and understandable to learners. I also give tips on how to pass English, how to score highly in your English test. So don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to my channel as we start today. And our topic is going to be types of nouns. Welcome back. Let's start our lesson for today. Let's begin. Welcome back once again to our lesson for today. As I said earlier, today we are going to discuss types of nouns. But before we begin, let's remind ourselves what is a noun, or what's the definition of a noun. So we said a noun is the name of a place, an animal or a thing. For example, dog, school, table, chair and so many others. So that's what we call a noun. And in our lesson for today, we are going to focus on types of nouns. And of course, we have so many types of nouns. So I hope you are ready for our lesson for today. And of course, as a smart student, you must have a book and a pen to write down some notes. And of course, by the end of this lesson, I'm going to give an exercise. So welcome to our lesson. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. So let's start. Types of nouns. We have so many types of nouns. Number one, we have common nouns. So what is a common noun? If someone asks you what is a common noun, what will be your definition of a common noun? So a common noun is a name of people, places or thing. For example, we can say girl, city, school, river and so many others. That's what we call a common noun. So note down, they do not start with a capital letter unless they begin a sentence. Common nouns do not start with a capital letter unless they begin a sentence. So you have given examples of common nouns. You have said city, gate, bus, chair, table, and there are so many other examples of common nouns. Number two, we have proper nouns. Proper nouns. What is a proper noun, or what is the definition of a proper noun? So let me define that. So a proper noun is a special name of a particular person, place, or thing. That's a proper noun. For example, you can say Kenya. Kenya is a proper noun. A name of a person, you can say Lucy. Lucy is a proper noun. Name of a county, for example, you can say Nairobi. That's a proper noun. Name of a country, for example, you can say Asia. You can say Kenya. You can say Rwanda, Tanzania, and so many others. That's a proper noun. And they always begin with a capital letter. So when dealing with the proper nouns, you must begin that noun with a capital letter. It doesn't matter whether it's at the end or in the middle of a sentence, but it must start with a capital letter. So number three, we have concrete nouns. Concrete nouns. So what is a concrete noun? Someone define a concrete noun. So let's define that. These are things you can see, touch, hear, smell, or taste. That's a concrete nouns. Or in some other words, you can say if you can perceive them with your five senses. That's a concrete noun. For example, you can say table, phone, dog, sugar, salt. Those are concrete nouns. You can perceive them with your five senses. And number four, we have abstract nouns. Abstract nouns. So what is an abstract noun? In your own understanding, what is an abstract noun? So I'm going to give a definition of an abstract noun. There are things you cannot see or touch. Things you cannot perceive with your five senses. Things that you cannot see or touch. For example, feelings. You cannot see or touch that. Air, you cannot see air, nor can we touch air. So let's give examples of abstract nouns. We have love, happiness. Can you see happiness? Can you see love? You cannot see love, you cannot see happiness. We have freedom. You cannot see it, nor can we touch it. We have honesty, we have fear, we cannot touch, those things that we have mentioned, and there are so many other examples. So on to our next, number 5, we have concrete nouns. Concrete nouns, they're names of group of people, animals, or sorry, not concrete, collective nouns. Sorry, collective nouns. They're names of group of people, animals, or things. So they're nouns that are grouped together. There are so many things, but we use one word to identify them. For example, we have a team. A team, it contains so many people, but you say a team. And then we have a class. You know, a class contains so many students, but we say a class. We use one word to identify those many students. So we have a class. We have a family. Family contains of so many people, but we identify them with one word, which is a family. Next, we have a flock of birds, a herd of cattle, and there are so many other examples. Now, next, number 6, we have countable and uncountable nouns. Countable and uncountable nouns. So we start with countable nouns. They are nouns you can count. Countable nouns, as the title is itself, countable nouns. These are nouns that we can count. For example, we can say book. You can count. You can say one book, 2 books, or 3 books, 4 books, and so many others you can count. Number 2, we have mangoes. Yes, mangoes, we can count mangoes. You can say 1 mango, I have 1 mango, I have 2 mangoes, I have 3 mangoes, 5 mangoes, and so many others. So that's what we call uncountable nouns. And B, we have uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns, nouns you cannot count. These are nouns that you cannot count. For example, can you count milk? Is it possible for one to count milk? You cannot count milk, you cannot count water, you cannot count air, you cannot count sugar, information, and so many others. They are nouns that you cannot count. So that will be our end of our lesson for today. But before we finish, I said we must have an exercise. We will try an exercise at the end of this lesson so that you can see whether we understood our lesson for today. So I have a quick exercise. So in this exercise, you are going to identify the types of nouns in a sentence. It's very simple. Just one question for today. So that's let me give the sentence, and in this sentence I want you to identify types of nouns in that sentence. So write down that sentence. It goes like this: Mary bought sugar from the market in Nairobi. Mary bought sugar from the market in Nairobi. So in that sentence, I want you to identify the types of nouns. So for those ones who did not get that sentence, I said Mary bought sugar from the market in Nairobi. So the sentence is up here. Whoever didn't get that, Mary bought sugar from the market in Nairobi. So identify the types of nouns in that sentence. I'll be waiting for your answers before I give my own answers. I know you have tried and I hope you got that correct. So let's identify the types of nouns in that sentence together. So we said Mary bought sugar from the market in Nairobi. So let's start identifying the types of nouns in that sentence. Let's start with Mary. Mary. So we said Mary is a proper noun, and it starts with a capital letter. Sugar. Mary bought sugar from the supermarket in Nairobi. Sugar is an uncountable noun. You cannot count sugar. Then we have market. Market is a common noun. Then finally we have Nairobi, which is the name of a country. That one we said it's a proper noun, and it must start either with a capital letter. So thank you very much for staying with me in my lesson for today. Meet you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and comment to my channel, and also not forgetting subscribing to my channel. Bye bye. See you next time in our next lesson. Bye.